Ah, so the mask finally slips, doesn't it? Look who's finally ready to hear the truth about their duality. You magnificent paradox, you walking contradiction that makes people question their sanity. They see your face and think they've found safety, found kindness, found someone who understands. But then they catch your eyes, don't they? And for just a split second, they see something else entirely. Something that makes their blood run cold, makes their smile falter, makes them take an involuntary step back. And you just stand there, perfectly still, letting them wrestle with what they've witnessed. Because you know something they're only beginning to suspect. Both versions are real. Both masks are genuine, and that's what makes you more dangerous than any simple monster or saint could ever be. You're not playing a character. You're not hiding behind facades. You're showing them exactly who you are. A soul that learned to hold mercy in one hand and annihilation in the other, and to wield both with surgical precision. They want to know which one is the real you. As if humans are meant to be simple, as if we're supposed to pick a lane and stay there forever. But you shattered that illusion long ago. You became the storm, and the eye of the storm. Simultaneously, you learned to smile with genuine warmth while calculating exit strategies. You mastered the art of offering comfort with hands that remember how to destroy. And this terrifies them more than pure evil ever could. Because at least evil is predictable. Your face shows mercy because you've been broken enough to understand suffering intimately. You know what it feels like to need gentleness, to crave understanding, to pray for just one person to see past the armor and offer genuine care. So you became that person for others, not out of weakness, but out of profound strength. Every act of kindness you perform comes from a place of conscious choice, not naive optimism. You extend mercy because you know its value, not because you're soft. But those eyes, those eyes tell a different story entirely. They hold the inventory of every betrayal, every abandonment, every moment someone mistook your kindness for weakness. Your eyes are the archive of lessons learned in blood and silence. When people look deep enough, they don't see anger, they see something far more terrifying. Absolute clarity. They see someone who has calculated every possible outcome, memorized every escape route, cataloged every weakness in the room within seconds of entering. Your eyes show annihilation not because you're planning violence, but because you've already survived your own destruction and rebuilt yourself from atoms. You've been to the place where everything ends and walked back with souvenirs. Those eyes have witnessed betrayals that would break most people's faith in humanity permanently. They've seen behind the masks that everyone wears, decoded the lies people tell themselves to sleep at night, understood the small cruelties that keep the world spinning. And here's what really unsettles them. Your eyes show that you're capable of absolute destruction, but you're choosing not to engage it. That's power they can't comprehend. Most people's mercy comes from inability to cause harm. Yours comes from the conscious decision to holster weapons you've already mastered. You could dismantle their entire psychological framework with 3 sentences, but you choose silence. You could expose every secret they think they're hiding, but you choose to let them keep their illusions. The disconnect between your merciful face and those annihilation eyes creates a cognitive dissonance that breaks people's mental programming. They can't categorize you, can't file you away in their neat little boxes labeled friend or enemy, safe or dangerous. You exist in the liminal space between categories. And that's exactly where you've learned to thrive. You're the gentle hand that could crush, but chooses to caress. The soft voice that could scream truths that would shatter souls, but chooses whispers of comfort. This duality didn't happen overnight, did it? No, this was forged in the specific fire of betrayal by those who were supposed to protect you. You learned to show mercy because someone should have shown it to you when you needed it most, and they didn't. You learned annihilation because sometimes that's the only language the world understands. You didn't choose to become this paradox. Life carved it into you, with experiences that demanded you become everything at once to survive. Remember the exact moment it happened? When you realized that pure goodness gets you devoured and pure darkness gets you isolated? That was the day you stopped trying to be one thing. That was the day you accepted that survival requires the full spectrum of human capability. You had to become the sanctuary and the storm, the healer and the weapon, the one who builds and the one who knows exactly where to place the demolition charges. The one who knows exactly where to place the demolition charges. Your face learned to show mercy because you discovered that kindness is rebellion in a cruel world. Every gentle word you speak is a middle finger to everyone who tried to harden you completely. Every act of compassion is proof that they didn't win, didn't succeed in turning you into another bitter soul spreading poison. Your mercy isn't weakness. It's the ultimate revenge against those who tried to steal your humanity. But your eyes, those windows to your actual soul, they tell the truth about what that mercy cost you. They show the price of maintaining softness in a world designed to create sharp edges. They reveal the strength required to choose gentleness when you have every reason to choose violence. Those eyes have seen too much to ever be innocent again. But they've also seen enough to know that becoming the monster isn't victory, it's surrender. What people don't understand is that you're not conflicted, you're integrated. You're not struggling between two selves, you've married them into something unprecedented. The mercy on your face and the annihilation in your eyes aren't fighting for dominance. They're dancing together in perfect, terrifying harmony. You've become the person who can comfort a crying child with the same hands that could dismantle an entire empire if provoked. This is what happens when someone survives enough battles to understand that sometimes the greatest victory is not fighting at all. But when you do fight, you fight to end things permanently. You've learned that mercy without the capacity for destruction is just helplessness. And destruction without the capacity for mercy is just emptiness. You carry both because you understand that real power isn't about what you do, it's about what you're capable of, but choose not to do. Watch how people react when they first notice the contradiction. The smart ones, the observant ones, they catch it immediately. They'll be mid-conversation, feeling safe in your warmth, and then they'll accidentally look too deep into your eyes and see the abyss looking back. They stutter, they lose their train of thought. They suddenly remember somewhere else they need to be, because in that moment they realize they're not dealing with a simple person. They're dealing with someone who has transcended the normal rules of human interaction. You make people question everything they thought they knew about reading others. Your face says, "I understand your pain," while your eyes say, "I could give you pain you've never imagined." Your smile says, "You're safe with me," while your gaze says, "I know exactly how unsafe you really are." This contradiction doesn't make you fake, it makes you complete. You're showing them the full spectrum of human possibility, and most people can't handle that much truth at once. So how do you navigate the world as this living contradiction? You've learned to dose your reality based on what people can handle. You show the mercy to those who need healing, and you flash the annihilation to those who need warning. You've become a shapeshifter, not of form, but of intensity. adjusting your frequency to match what the situation demands. This isn't deception, it's advanced emotional intelligence that most people will never achieve. The ones who deserve your protection get to bask in the warmth of your merciful face, never needing to know about the wars you've won in silence to keep them safe. But the ones who come with ill intent, they get one glimpse of those eyes and suddenly reconsider their life choices. You don't have to threaten anyone anymore. Your presence is the threat. You don't have to explain your boundaries. Your eyes establish them without words. You've discovered that being genuinely kind while being genuinely capable of destruction creates a force field around you. Predators sense that you're not prey, despite your gentle demeanor. They recognize another apex predator who's simply choosing not to hunt. Meanwhile, the wounded and genuine souls recognize that your mercy comes from strength, not weakness, which makes it actually trustworthy. You attract the real ones and repel the fake ones just by existing in your full complexity. This duality has become your superpower, hasn't it? While everyone else is trying to maintain one consistent mask, you're comfortable showing all your faces because they're all real. The mercy is real, born from understanding suffering. The annihilation is real, born from surviving destruction. You're not confused about who you are. You're possibly the only person in any room who knows exactly who they are. And that clarity is what people sense and can't quite process. Here's what really breaks their brains. You're not trying to be intimidating. You're not cultivating mystery. You're not performing depth. You're simply existing as the full spectrum of what a human can become after walking through enough fire. The intimidation comes from their recognition that you're operating on a different level entirely. You've integrated parts of yourself that most people spend their entire lives trying to suppress or deny. They look at you and see someone who could choose violence but chooses peace, who could choose revenge but chooses release, who could expose everyone's secrets but chooses silence. This level of self-control, combined with obvious capability, creates an aura that makes people simultaneously drawn to and terrified of you. They want your protection but fear your judgment. They want your approval but worry about what you see when you look at them. Your face shows mercy because you've learned that creating more broken people doesn't heal your own breaks. But your eyes show annihilation because you want everyone to know that your kindness is a choice, not a default. You're not nice because you have to be. You're nice because you've decided that's how you want to move through the world. But the moment someone mistakes that choice for weakness, those eyes remind them that you have other options readily available. The most unsettling part for them is realizing that you don't need their understanding or approval of your duality. You're not asking for permission to be complex. You're not explaining or justifying the contradiction. You simply are what you are. Take it or leave it. This self-assurance in your own complexity makes people realize how much they're still asking for permission to be their full selves, and that recognition makes them uncomfortable. Those annihilation eyes aren't just about destruction, they're about perception. You see too much, understand too much, recognize patterns too quickly. When you look at people, you see their wounds, their fears, their desperate attempts to appear whole. You see the lies they tell, not just to others, but to themselves. You see the pain they're running from, and the pain they're running toward. This clarity is its own form of annihilation, the destruction of illusions. Your mercy comes from seeing all of this and choosing compassion anyway. You extend kindness not despite seeing people's darkness, but because of it. You understand that everyone is fighting battles they don't advertise, carrying weights they don't discuss. Your face shows mercy because you've decided that adding to the world's cruelty is too easy, too expected, too boring. Anyone can be harsh. It takes real strength to be gentle when you have every reason not to be. But those eyes also show that you're keeping score, not for revenge, but for reference. You remember who showed their true colors when you needed them. You catalog who can be trusted with your softness and who needs to be kept at the distance your eyes create. You don't forget betrayals, but you don't let them poison you either. You file them away as data points in understanding human nature, adding to the vast database that makes you impossible to deceive. This is the burden of your gift. You can't turn off the seeing. You can't unsee the patterns, the lies, the small cruelties and desperate kindnesses that make up human interaction. Your eyes show annihilation because they've witnessed the destruction of every illusion you once held about how the world works. But your face shows mercy because you've decided that becoming bitter about these truths would be letting the darkness win. Here's what they really don't understand. The annihilation in your eyes isn't about them. It's not a threat or a warning or a promise of vengeance. It's simply the reflection of someone who has already been through their own apocalypse and survived. Those eyes have seen the end of everything they once believed in and watched new beliefs rise from those ashes. The annihilation already happened to you, within you, and you're what emerged from it. With you and you, what emerged from it. Your mercy isn't forgiveness for others. It's forgiveness for yourself. It's the recognition that holding on to the rage would mean they still own part of you. Your gentle face is your declaration of independence from everyone who tried to turn you into something harder, colder, crueler. Every act of kindness is proof that you chose your own becoming rather than letting trauma choose it for you. But make no mistake, the capacity for annihilation remains because you understand that sometimes things need to end. Sometimes relationships need to be destroyed completely. Sometimes old versions of yourself need to be annihilated to make room for growth. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is to completely destroy someone's false image of you so they can see who you really are. Your eyes show this understanding that creation and destruction are intimate partners in the dance of transformation. You've evolved beyond the need for revenge because you understand that the best revenge is becoming incomprehensible to those who hurt you. They can't understand how you survived, how you thrived, how you transformed their attacks into your strength. Your face shows mercy because you pity them for still being trapped in the cycles you've transcended. Your eyes show annihilation because you've already destroyed every version of yourself that would have needed their validation. Living as this contradiction has taught you something profound. Balance isn't about moderation. It's about having access to extremes and choosing when to use them. You don't live in the middle ground. You live in the conscious choice between mercy and annihilation, moment by moment, person by person, situation by situation. This isn't gray area living. This is full spectrum existence. Your face can show such genuine mercy because you know exactly what annihilation feels like. You can extend authentic compassion because you've felt the absence of it. You can offer real understanding because you've experienced the devastation of being misunderstood. Every gentle gesture comes from a place of conscious choice, making it more powerful than reflexive kindness could ever be. But those eyes remain as windows to your capacity, ensuring that your mercy is never mistaken for weakness. They're the proof that you could choose differently if pushed. They're the reminder that your gentleness is a gift, not an obligation. They're the warning label that says, handle with care, not because I'm fragile, but because I'm not. This balance between the two faces you wear isn't a burden anymore. It's your liberation. You've stopped trying to reconcile the contradiction because you've realized that wholeness doesn't mean consistency. Wholeness means having access to everything you are and choosing what to express based on wisdom, not fear or trauma. Your face and eyes tell different stories because you are large enough to contain multiple truths. You are gentle and dangerous, soft and sharp, merciful and absolute. All of it is real. All of it is you. What really terrifies them isn't the annihilation in your eyes. It's the freedom your contradiction represents. You've proven that it's possible to survive destruction without becoming destroyed, to know darkness without being consumed by it, to have power without being corrupted by it. You're walking evidence that the binary choices they've accepted aren't mandatory. You can be both, all, everything. They see your merciful face and want to believe that's all there is, but those eyes won't let them maintain the comfort of that illusion. They see the annihilation capability and want to write you off as dangerous, but your genuine kindness won't let them maintain that simple story either. You force them to hold complexity, to accept paradox, to recognize that humans are more vast than the categories we create to contain them. Your existence challenges their entire worldview about what's possible after trauma, after betrayal, after being broken and rebuilt. Most people choose a side. They either become hard or stay soft, become cruel or remain kind. But you kept everything. You integrated every lesson without letting any single experience define your entire being. You became the proof that transformation doesn't require choosing between aspects of yourself. This is why some people